So we are ready for the all-important toss right here alongside me. We've got the match referee Will Smith, umpires Ben Devlin and Billy Taylor, and the two skippers Stevie Eskenazi of Middlesex, Kieran Carson of Glamorgan. Steve's got the coin, and up it goes. Heads is the call, and heads it is. And Glamorgan are going to bat first. Kieran had to have a bit of a think about it. Looked like quite a wouldn't mind illusion on that sounds good. Still early days in this competition. 1, 2, what's the story in the camp on? How do you prepare for this? For a very long time. Is it studying tapes? How do you go about preparing for these games?
As long as it isn't out. All the best. So thank you, Kieran. So this from Stevie Eskenazi to Harry Bottle back on his older stomping ground. We got a bowl first the other night. Everyone chasing him. Heartbreaking thing. Because that's what they've got in law, it tells you specifically, as I say, it says 4.3, you say that
across the board. We've got to must-win territory yet.
So what was there?
Big thing news for you is to get those John Simpson. What's the thinking there?
Huh?
Oh,
the toilet, yeah.
We're going to have won the toss. Go back first.
Yes, you'll have it at about 25 past. Oh, in fact, there's one in there. You go and see Ollie. I'll have a radio for you. If you could hold after this, go on to the holding logo slide. Please onto the holding logo slide.
What do we do, Esky? What do we do?
A reminder that the news from the toss was that Glamorgan won it. They're going to back first, and here is the team. Eddie Byron, Sam Morphy, Kieran Carlson as captain, from Ingram, Chris Cook, Harry Podmore, Billy Root, Dan Dothwaite, Prem Sisodia, Zoglu, and Jamie McElroy. So that's the visitors. How about the home side? Middlesex captain by the opening batsman Stephen Eskenazi, Joe Drecknell, Peter Moran, Max Nolan, Jack Davies, Ryan Higgins, Luke Coleman, Martin Anderson, Nathan Fernandez, Tom Helm, and Blake Cohen. Glamorgan win the toss, back first.
Another 7 minutes, really. Dan hasn't got that. his first experience of T20 cricket. I'm sorry, I would have introduced you.
All right.
I should have introduced you. Sorry, that was really rude.
No.
She'll be around. I'll introduce you in a bit. Yeah, they travelled down this morning, so they're staying with me. Yeah, lots of so good.
So we're just over 10 minutes away to first ball. Reminder that Glamorgan won the toss and they are going to bat first. We'll let you know refreshments are available at the bars in the ground or on the school side. Middlesex members can show your membership card at the bar. Discounted price on a price.
It's like nice. I know what you look like. I know you were down.
Up to date on all things Middlesex. Follow us on Twitter, get in touch. Middlesex_CCC or on Instagram and Facebook. We are Middlesex Cricket. Tweet us with your messages about support for Middlesex using the hashtag #OneMiddlesex. Require any first aid assistance this afternoon, please ask for Stuart. First aid is situated in the medical tent at the lake end of the ground. There are dedicated sections of seating for families and contributions to the pavilion. The paper change facility is situated behind the mobile grandstand at the lake end of the ground, and the Molten Faith marquee is available for anyone requiring a place to pray over prayer. That's situated on the school side.
There's only one effect, Mike, presumably.
Just a reminder that Middlesex's next home match in the dance is just down the road at Cricket Club. On Tuesday, the 6th of June, we take on the defending champions, the Hampshire Hawks. Tickets are available via middlesexccc.com or you can visit the Middlesex.
I won't be there, but it's all about that.
And I'd like to remind everyone of the ground regulations. Texas may not come onto the playing area any time until you appreciate these measures are in place for the safety of everyone, particularly the players and officials.
simplest round, isn't it? So, and then it gives you an idea of where they are. Yeah. So, like, oh, they're there or thereabouts, or
It's not what all good self-respecting 19-year-olds do, they expect from that.
holding cameras. That's like Harold, but like, I was standing on the other side. I was looking at it. It was actually had like sausage. It had like about 4 layers of it. No problem. You went down to the corner and it was really intense. I think it was like corner and went down the other side. Win. That's what you said.
Pioneer, adventurer, leader. It's an instinct to never stand still. Always striving, never settling. Why should investing be any different? After all, your investment challenges aren't standing still. So neither will we. Expect more with iShares.
We're Cambridge, we're Colchester, Felixstowe and Cromer, we're Peterborough, Wellingborough, we're Luton and Acton, we're Hertford and Stratford, London and the East, we're beginners and we're veterans, local and adopted, we're progressive, we're inclusive, we're versatile, we wear our badge with pride. We're those who volunteer endless time, nurturing the future of our game. We're those who inspire others to give it a go. We're those who support with passion, and those who dream of pulling on our shirt. We're strengthening our history to thrive in the future. We are built by our region, for our region. We are Sunrisers.
Leaders never stand still. Expect more with iShares.
Well, a very good evening, everybody, and welcome to Merchant Taylor's School, where the Vitality Blast continues with the visit of Glamorgan, who have won the toss here at Merchant Taylor's on a blustery evening again. Middlesex looking for their first win after 3 games. The Welsh sides come here, well, victors over Gloucestershire, who won the last game here at Merchant Taylor's on Monday. Middlesex looking to bounce back from that narrowest of defeats. So Glamorgan win the toss, they elected to bat first. There's the guard of honour ready to go. Many thanks to our partners for this game, iShares, you can see in the top left. And Charles Tyrrett, the clothing sponsors, who you've just seen it shot a moment ago. That was a nice bit of a picture. The rest of it wasn't looking so great. Middlesex make one change for this one. No John Simpson, so Jack Davis comes in. Stephen Eskenazi, the captain. Joe Cracknell, Peter Milan, Max Holden, Jack Davis, Ryan Higgins, Luke Holman, Martin Anderson, Nathan Fernandez, Tom Helm and Blake Cullen. As for Glamorgan, Eddie Byram, Sam Northeast, Kieran Carlson, the captain, Colin Ingram, Chris Cook, the wicketkeeper, Harry Podmore, Billy Roots, Dan Douthwaite, Prem Sisodia, Peter Hansoglu and Jamie McElroy. So, Billy Taylor, Ben Debenham and Will Smith are officials for this one. There goes Stephen Eskenazi on the left, and Jack Davis, who's in for John Simpson with this for this one with the gloves on behind him. There's Dave Fulton in the background as well. We can ignore him. One man we mustn't ignore that. Angus Fraser has just sat down alongside me. There was a little quirk about something. Is it something you can repeat on air? But possibly not if it was aimed at me.
When was that? There's lots of them.
Just a moment ago as you walked in.
No, I just... is Simpson injured?
Not as far as I'm aware at this point, but he could be. The message hasn't reached me yet.
Right, no, I just... it was more that. Actually, and the other thing was... it's warmer today than even though it's a bit more cloud in the sky here at Merchant Taylor School, it's warmer today than it was on Monday, even though it was a beautiful day on Monday. The wind was cold, but I've got the right clothing.
I'm sorry to Charles Tyrrett, I've got their jumper on, but I haven't got a Charles Tyrrett underneath your Middlesex top. Well, you're allowed that. They can send me a jacket if they like.
No, here we go again. I think I've got over the frustration of Monday. Getting that one over the line, but the good thing about professional sport is that as a player you get the immediate chance to go out there and try and rectify things, and that's the challenge for Middlesex today, is to try and erase that from their memory, the disappointment of that last couple of overs against Gloucestershire, and come out here and put in a good performance against Glamorgan.
Yeah, it was a shock for sure, those last few overs. Had what, 12 to win off the last 2 overs against Gloucestershire. What will they be chasing today against Glamorgan? Here's Tom Helm to get us underway. Eddie Byram on strike. So Northeast at the non-strikers end. There's a mid-off and mid-on up. So it is a deep backward square leg and a deep third. Off the legs and straight to short fine leg. Gets away with that one. Helm first up, little leg side. Has he got a smile on his face there? I think he has. A smile of relief as it goes straight to the fielder. Well positioned, of course, up inside the circle. So yes, Middlesex looking for their first win. And here at Merchant Taylor School, they know the ground so well. That would have been part of the frustration of that defeat. 12 to chase on any ground, but especially a ground where they have such a good record in all the other formats. Cracking shot, picks out the fielder again. 2 dot balls to start for Helm. Peter Milan in the covers, blocking off on this occasion. Yeah, the group stage at the moment. Glamorgan, just that 1 win against Gloucestershire. 1 defeat from 2 games. again. Solid start here for Helm. And, to Byron, the opener, was indeed a Somerset player. That was the last game for Glamorgan, a 4-wicket win for Somerset. 54 for 6 in the 15th. Chasing down the 153 all out after 19.4 Glamorgan. And Turner picked up a 2-wicket win against Gloucestershire at Bristol in the opening round, so a couple of West Country games for them to begin. Lifting ball past the edge. This is quite the first over from Helm.
Yeah, again, you just see the sort of the margins of T20 cricket. Got away with that first ball, leg side, went straight to the fielder, a couple of yards either side, it's 4. Was actually driven straight to the fielder, and almost those two scoring opportunities have slipped aside, and hopefully now Helm's in his rhythm, as you saw in that last ball there, which finded every beat in the outside edge.
Follows him. Byron goes with it as well, though. Eskenazi will retrieve, and they'll take a couple to get off the mark from the 5th ball. Helm, who had a tough opening couple of overs, 26 of his first 2 against Gloucestershire the other day, very unlike him. Standing death bowler as well, but even in restricting Gloucestershire to an amount that they've been relatively happy with. Just a little bit too far and out of reach. That time he does find the gap in between cover and extra cover. Indeed, extra cover and mid-off it is. And 4 to finish the over. All 6 of them to Byron as Glamorgan 6 without loss.
Just looking at that, like I say, we're at deep mid-wicket here. Pavilion side of the ground, just enough width there. Helm to, I think it was attempted slow ball, wasn't it? You sound like an old, which I am, a former bowler, but you sometimes sort of think, well, bowl well, made him struggle, hit the pitch hard, bowl it straight. If the batsman wants to try and do something, then let him do it, but just a little bit of width, slow ball, and nicely timed boundary for Byron, gets him off him. And open the bowl in from the lake end of the ground. Blake Cullen.
Start from Cullen, deep backward point in position. Peter Milan out there, just a single. Brings Byron back onto strike. He's on 11 at Bristol and 42 at Taunton so far, Byron. Zimbabwean born. From Harare, same as Ryan Higgins.
James Cracknell's just walked in front of us. Sorry, Joe.
Cracknell called into action, and Holden gets there first. Cover.
Yes, one with a big smiling face was running towards us, sat in the marquee over on this side of the ground. So does Joe Cracknell. Took one of the best catches that I've ever seen, actually, the other day in the game against Gloucestershire, and I called him James.
We went viral, Gus, you and me.
Well, for my mistake. I don't know, it's one of those ones because Cracknell's not, I suppose, not a hugely popular surname, and you know a famous Cracknell, which is obviously James Cracknell, who won Olympic gold rowing. You have it in your head, don't you, J. But I said to Joe, it's his fault. He's got to get more famous, hasn't he? Than Olympic gold medalist.
Nice shot. Even the up, big chase here from Milan around the boundary. He's going to have a chance at it. Oh, just slides with it. That's 4. Well, pretty sure he was sliding along the rope there. It looks as though both umpires want to signal, and they do. Yeah, I don't think Milan was any question. He was just getting up, enthusiastically returning.
Also a bit of a good shot there by North East. Not a bad ball by Cullen, and by no means just pushed it into the offside, but it's shown the pace of this boundary. course, the pace of this outfield, the way that it's run away, and then maybe have a bit of a rope burn on your leg there. Never always hurt a bit more than they look, those.
Top ball, one's coming over, just 6 off it. Same as Hell went for the first, they can get out of this one. I don't know what it says about us, Gus. The director of cricket at Middlesex, sorry, the director of communications at Middlesex has left a couple of donuts in front of the commentators. One for you, I've eaten mine already.
Are they for us?
I hope so, I've eaten one of them.
Not sure whether I need that, but it's very tempting.
Punched out to Milan. Just a single throw in the over, 7 off it. Good over from Cullen. They'll be happy with this start, Middlesex. 13 without loss. Glamorgan electing to set the target here, which is an interesting one. Now ground. Let's get the pace of the pitch, get the feel of it. Certainly 6.5 off the first 2. Middlesex will be pretty happy with that.
Bowling the bowman, Martin Anderson.
Change of bowling for Middlesex. We saw Gloucestershire the other day here, certainly in the power play. No bowler bowled 2 consecutive overs at the same end. Middlesex jiggling things around, I suppose, trying to get it's a way you can get your 6 overs bowled by your 3 seamers. Martin Anderson replacing Helm down the hill. Helm may well bowl the next over. And you've got either Anderson or Cullen into bowl at this end.
That's nice, into the block hole. Bit of shape on that one as well, wasn't it? Through the air for Anderson. Really bowled well in the Gloucestershire game. That'll frustrate Middlesex first 2 games, because they'll look at, first 3 indeed, they'll look at some really good moments in those games. They'll look at some pretty average moments as well, which has cost them. Anderson's performance the other day against Gloucestershire was certainly a big improvement. Low full toss, gone at mid-arm. Well, if you get your Yorker wrong, make sure you go slightly long. North East pays the price, he's gone for 6.
I thought that was 4, the way he hit it. I didn't think mid-on was going to have a chance of getting his hands up there, but tall man Tom Helm plucked it out of the air. And a good start for Middlesex, good start for Anderson. I thought bowled well actually in Middlesex's opening game against Surrey too, as well as the other night. So this one is a nice one now. It's an easy, comfortable catch. So yeah, excellent start for Middlesex here. North East, fine player. Capable of putting big scores on the board. Their anthem, didn't it, in the Euros, or the World Cup, was it? I'm trying to think what it was now.
Just the Middlesex song get played at Cardiff. We've got the Ollie Rayner song, wasn't it? Anderson, Sakir and Carlson.
You want that charge, mate? Have you got a charge in there?
Yes. Lovely delivery. So you get a little bit from these white balls up front, don't you? And it just seems as though Anderson's finding a little something here. That was a perfect example of go long on the York, not sure, i.e. slot delivery. Tom Helm, I think it was, up in the mic, was his thing perhaps a year or 2 ago, talking about it.
Going long on, that means a full toss, do you mean? Right.
There's Tom terminology, not like this. I can't come up with these things.
No, I know, you've always got to put a... It's like change up, isn't it? Slow. How can a slower ball be a change up? It's a change down. But of course, a change down sounds negative, so you can't say a change down, so it's a change up. I know, I'm a dinosaur, I'm sorry.
This is excellent from Anderson. a wicket maiden he's on for at the moment. 1 ball left to the third. I mean, that's pretty special in a power play if it does come off. Won't be a wicket maiden. Oh, and it won't be a single either. It's 4 runs just past deep thirds. And Glamorgan needed that. Carlson's off the mark. 17 for 1.
Yeah, excellent effort there by Martin Anderson. Doing quite a good. Well, again, not a lot wrong with the delivery. Cute shot. Using the pace of the ball. Just to the right of the fielder. And as we noticed the other day, the fast outfield here at Merchant Taylors School ground looked immaculate. On Monday it does again today. Not quite the same size crowd, even though it's half term, so still plenty of kids playing in the participation area.
Edged. Oh, gone! Fine catch by Anderson. Short third. Holding on, low in front of him. Second wicket early on. This is a stunning start for Middlesex as they look to put Monday's Blues behind them.
Yeah, excellent catch there by Martin Anderson, diving forward. Hurt his finger in the Surrey game. I think everybody feared that he'd broken a finger, but thankfully that's not been the case. It was just a dislocation, so there'll be some discomfort there, but not enough to put him off diving forward. And again, good start by Blake Cullen. Could have easily have sort of just half volleyed him, but he's dived forward. Anderson's had an excellent start, taking the first wicket, obviously taking the catch there to dismiss Glamorgan's second batsman.
Skipper's on the way back. What's he feeling about that decision to bat first here? Here comes the big man, Colin Ingram, though, with the 2 overseas for Glamorgan. Apologies, Byron on his way back, not the skipper. Carlson there on 4. Cullen back-to-back overs from the Lake End. That's the edge from Cullen. Paciest bowler at Middlesex, Cullen. And it was an outground where, for me, watching on, he was really announced, just watching him side on against James Vince, where the pace really got at Vince.
No, it's great to see him fit again. Missed most last season with a back injury. One of Middlesex's brightest young prospects.
Run single. Ingram off the mark.
Last he's finished at university now, so I'm not sure whether he's got his degree grade back, but he was hoping, certainly be at second, but hoping for a first. Bright young man, studying in London, combine it with his cricket. Missed a bit of cricket at the start of the season to concentrate, quite rightly so, on his degree, but now he can commit himself full-time to Middlesex and hopefully force his way into not just the first team in T20 cricket, but in 4-day cricket too.
It's a nice clip. Cracknell comes around, looks holding to 1, that's all it is. It's green science. A degree in science for Cullen. I said to him, why science? To save the planet, Kev. To save the planet.
A few of the boys have been. I'll ask Joe what degree he was doing. Crackers, what were you studying?
There's the single.
Joe Cracknell, he finished his degree last year. Shouted out to him what he studied. He said sports science. Was it sports science? At Durham? Don't know what he got.
Do you want to take a guess?
2.
Adventurous from Carlson. End of the over, just 3 off it, and a wicket to start. Byram's back in the pavilion as well. Both openers gone. That man Carlson, he ruined the decision at the toss. Was a little bit of surprise, certainly for a few, that it was a bold decision to go in and set the total on a pitch where Middlesex have clearly seen more of it than they have.
It is, but it's the same pitch. I mean, the ground staff here have produced 2 services for Middlesex, and obviously the conversation after the Gloucestershire game was that there was an excellent surface that they played on. Do you reckon it'll last another match? And it looks like it will. So maybe the Glamorgan side have thought, well, actually, could bat in the 4th innings on this surface, be more challenging. And equally, I mean, sides have a way of playing. Some sides like setting targets, some sides like chasing.
Anderson brings that back in nicely on the off stump. There's Davis. Ooh, a little wobble of the ankle there for a moment. I was worried he'd injured himself, but just steadied himself and he's fine. Scored runs yesterday. Check Davis.
Yeah, 80 odd. Middlesex lost their first 2 second 11 T20 matches against Surrey and Sussex. They've won the last 2. They won today. They've beaten Kent down.
Local toss again, just a single to mid off. That bounced up nastily on Eskenazi, but he's done well.
Beaten Kent today at Enfield. Josh DeCare's got 70, 70, and Sam Robson got 60. We scored 210, I think, and won by 25-30 runs. So good performance by the 2s at Enfield. No, I wasn't there. I just sort of looked at it on my phone.
That's lifted up and over extra cover. How far? 1 bounce, 2, and then it'll trickle over the ropes there. 4 runs. Lovely shot by Ingram, inside out to the offsides. First boundary for Ingram.
Yep, too much width there by Anderson. Just giving the batter the chance to throw his arms at the ball.
It's better. Slower ball as well. Well bowled. Good stuff from Anderson. Another one who struggled with back injuries over the years in his early days for Middlesex. He's pretty much put those days behind him. Now it's about form and consistency and holding down that place in the side. Low full toss goes up in the air and goes all the way. 6 runs for Ingram. Well, low full toss on this occasion not working for Anderson. First 6 for Glamorgan.
Yeah, Anderson has got the Yorkers in quite well. Maybe what he's looking for, slower ball, but easy pickings for a player of Ingram's class. Middlesex having made such a good start, don't let things slip here. Push home that advantage of taking 2 early wickets.
Last ball of the 5th. Good finish, just a single. 13 off it, gets out of the over well. Anderson, 5 gone here at Northwood. Morgan 33 for 2. No, I asked if you're at Enfield's, Middlesex win. Thought maybe that would explain the pretty good mood he seems to be in.
Look, if you're on commentary, you've got to come in full of energy and enthusiasm. You can't come on and yeah, all right, it's all right.
It's actually I trained you quite quickly, so you had to start on a high.
Absolutely. By an hour and a half's time, you'd have got to me, and I'll be as miserable as sin. So again, that sort of initial change has allowed Middlesex to bowl 6 overs a seam. And previous match, we've seen a bit of Nathan Fernandez bowling the power play. Did Luke Holman bowl against Gloucestershire? I'm trying to remember. No, Ryan Higgins came on bowling over, didn't he? So Helm to bowl the 6 over here.
Just a single start for Ingram. How does Carlson go about this? 34 for 2. They're a little light in the power play, Glamorgan. Those 2 early wickets hanging heavy over them. Ingram's cashed in a little.
Ingram's going to be a key figure, isn't he? He's been a fantastic player. played match-winning innings against Middlesex in the past, and they'll realise that his scalp is going to be the one that they really want from here on in.
Short pulled away. Yeah, for a while, but sweetly struck, 4 runs. Up in the air, Cries catch it. Cracknell comes in, just short of him. Charged, but just fractionally short.
May well have carried to him on Monday with the wind being stronger across the ground, but it's sort of clothed it really, hasn't he? For a moment, Cracknell thinking could he repeat the feats of Monday, but fell well short of him. So right decision to bail out, make sure that by going for it, he didn't let it through for 4.
Single more to mid-wicket. Higgins coming around. Out there at the end the other day, Higgins in that defeat. Bitterly disappointed, you can see it in his face as he walked off. Rarely see Higgins without a smile in any situation, but it's a stern, stern face. Slow ball, met by Carlson and given the treatment. Another boundary.
Glamorgan getting back into this power play in the last 2 overs. Anderson's last over going for 13. This over 2 boundaries. So Glamorgan slowly correcting the excellent start that Middlesex made in the first 4 overs.
Better ball from Helm. Better length on that one. Goes through a good pace as well to Davis behind the stumps. End of the power play. 59 for 2 for Gloucestershire at the end of their power play. Set in the other day, 44 for 2 Glamorgan.
So Middlesex just shading probably that power play, not by a huge amount because of the last 2 overs, but 2 good wickets. Now they can spread the fielders out. 4 fielders plus the bowler and the keeper have to remain in the circle, so 5 boundary fielders can be placed out, and I think there are 5 out as I look at the ground.
Inside tickle. We think about 2, but settle on 1 as Davis comes around. Busy little player with the bat, young Jack Davis, who's come in. Give him a couple of goes in white ball cricket, a couple in the blasts. Manoeuvre at the crease, as I remember. Walk either way, try and open up something in the field. Down the track, slapped straight to Higgins, who shies and misses. Didn't let it be comfortably through anyway. Good from the field though to keep the pressure up. .37 years of age now, Colin Ingram. From Port Elizabeth, 31 ODIs, 9 T20s. Internationals, that is. Top score of 127 unbeaten, one of 4 T20 centuries. Tees off again. And this time, just past us, just past Holman, just past the commentary tent. Half a chance for Holman, and he really would have had one grab at it, but on that bounce it was gone.
Before that Might have been down his neck for a moment, but just evaded him. Slightly misjudged it, to be honest. Sort of came in thinking the catch might be there, and as you can see, carried a bit further than he thought. Bounced through him. Let's look at Ingram's career. 325 T20 matches he's played in his career. 118 first class. That sort of shows where his attention has been.
Should I go through his teams?
We haven't got that long. Actually, I'd sort of, the umpires, when the umpires were coming out, I sort of walked past them, and oh, he has got the ball. They had the box of spare balls, and I said, that's optimistic, isn't it? I said, he got it the ball half a mile to lose it here, but by the delay, I thought he might well have lost one in the hedge behind the commentary position, but got it back, and Blake Cullen into bowler's fourth delivery.
Onto the heels. I think it would have been very. I mean, there's a chance that might have shaped the outside of leg, but it was certainly going to drop just outside the line, you'd have thought. Yep. Yeah, Ingram, a particularly brutal game at Cardiff where he went after Middlesex. I remember if Morgan was captain in that night. I remember he was certainly there for it. Up in the air. Davis goes, so does Long Leg, and Long Leg takes a very, very good catch. And it's Martin Anderson again holding on. Well, coming into form with the ball, certainly finding form in the field. They're two tight catches, and he holds on to both.
Yeah, an important wicket there for Middlesex. Glamorgan coming back into this match, last 2.5 overs with a few boundaries. Short delivery, swipe, looking for that shorter leg side, but a big swirling catch there for Anderson, well taken. When you see pros get under it, they tend to make, well, they spend so much time practicing as they should do, but difficult catches, challenging catches look easy, and that wasn't straightforward. Quite a bit of wind there, judged it perfectly, and with a dive didn't allow the ball to knock out, jump out with his elbows hit the ground. So important wicket, well bowled Blake Cullen.
35 and 31 so far for Carlson, but he's headed back, the skipper. It's a good bouncer as well from Cullen, right on the spot. Good pace, Carlson. Not over the top of it, quite getting in line. I think that's why he ended up scooping it really up into the air. So Cook it is. The wicket keeper, Chris Cook. Block hole delivery from Cullen, dug out well for a single. End of the 7th, the wicket of Carlson. Glamorgan 52 for 3. Cook 100, well there we go, 140 T20s for Cook. He's 37 now. There's a story so far. Byram gone for 7, called Anderson for the bowling. Cullen short third. Northeast taken by Helm, looking to drive Anderson. That last wicket, as we just saw in that over. Skipper departing.
It's a nice picture, isn't it? Image of the school in the background. And Ryan Higgins into the attack. He's a bit of a big bag from Ryan Higgins so far this season. So Middlesex carrying on with seam. I wonder when Luke Holman, who bowled quite well the other night against, or the other day, sorry, against Gloucestershire. But medium pace of hustling bustling of Higgins.
Leg side first up, 4 runs. Short fine leg up inside of the circle, just missed the fielder. A couple of runs. ball. Just a single out to Milan. Interesting that Cook's got 140. Turned 37 yesterday, actually. In Johannesburg. 140 T20s. 650s.
He's a strong player as well. So these two are both dangerous batters. Scored runs against Middlesex in the past. Round the wicket. Higgins here.
Is that kept a fraction low? Go down the bat certainly as it's punched out to Cracknell. Cook 650s, 140 T20, strike rate of 134. Now it's going to be 4 runs. There's just a little bit of width with that from Higgins. Inside the off stump, Cook almost able to wait on it. Slip at the non-strikers then from Cook, but it's okay. No chance of the second on that one either. Cook 25 and 18 in the 2 games so far against Gloucester and Somerset.
And 11 runs off the over to date. 2 in different deliveries from Higgins. Leg side, 1 to start and then a half volley.
Around the wickets, finish the over to Ingram. 8 gone, 64 for 3. It's the West Country double for Middlesex up next. It's Somerset on Friday, then Gloucestershire on Sunday. The two teams that Glamorgan have played so far. Tough trips as well, Taunton and Bristol. Friday night at Taunton. It's a feisty affair, one to look forward to from a neutral perspective. Players enjoy it as well though, they like the atmosphere, the challenge. Many moons ago, I remember asking, I think it was a young Toby Rowland-Jones at that point, and Danny Evans about a game up at Scarborough. I'm pretty sure, well, certainly it was a one-day game, it wasn't a T20. But a packed house for a one-day game at Scarborough, and it was pretty lively. I seem to remember, and I asked them about it, how was it? And they said, actually, we enjoyed it. You know, there was a lot of banter coming from the sidelines, but it's kind of nice to be involved in these games.
Get into trouble now, I would.
Giving a little bit back.
Well, yeah, if banter's verbally getting abused on the boundary and insulted by people, then it's good
that's
fun.
my
But
ask.
yeah. I mean, I think the worst or the hardest crowd probably is Chelmsford on a Friday night. That's a difficult one. You hear there of some unpleasant things being shouted at you, but
I think that's a very different crowd, isn't it? Mind you, it was a different time as well, because that's Danny Evans' time. That would have been circa 2000 and... Pulled out to deep mid-wicket, just a single. I guess that would have been somewhere around 2010 or so.
no, but I did used to say stuff back and probably get in trouble now.
Did you get it from the crowd back then?
Yeah. Used to get heaps.
Well, I mean at county level.
Well, I say heaps. It's more for the one-day games than the county championship matches, but copped a bit in Australia and South Africa too.
Well, that didn't surprise me. Caribbean crowds like, because that was always, you know, as a kid growing up watching Gravy climbing around.
They were good. Caribbean crowds were good. I suppose I'm not 100% fan of banter. Banter's almost an excuse for say, oh, it's only banter. Well, no, actually, it can be abuse. Banter can be abusive. So But the West Indies crowds were very good. They were quite amusing actually in the comments that they made. Very funny.
Short and away. Good stop. On the tumble from Anderson, they'll take 2. 67. 69 indeed for 3. No, that was why I asked Danny Evans up at Scarborough. I said, well, how rough was it? And he said, no, it wasn't. It never went over the top, but they let you know they were
he's
there.
from Hartlepool.
Well, that's true.
So it was just a Friday night out for him.
Talking about a young Toby Rowland-Jones, that makes me feel old. Single to end the 9th. Cullen going for 6 off it. The current bright young thing of the Middlesex bowling attack. 73.
Yeah, Toby Rowland-Jones is interesting. I always remember I suppose look back at it with a huge amount of fondness because he's been an outstanding cricketer for Middlesex over the last 10 or 12 years, and how a Middlesex boy in the system, was a batter when he was younger, went to university, wasn't at the academy. Middlesex looking to strengthen the squad, speak to people, Clive Radley, umpires. Why don't you have a look at this lad? He's a Middlesex boy, and suddenly, I like the look of him. And I just always remember a game up at Radlett, second 11 game where Chris Silverwood and Alan Richardson were playing, I think, and they were coming towards the end of their careers. And Toby outbowled those two by quite a bit, and you just thought, hang on, this lad's got something here. And thankfully he signed for us. Sorry we're sniffing around, but weren't too interested, and as they say, the rest has been history. But no, he's not just an outstanding cricketer, but a top fella as well. He's been a huge member of this team for the last 10 years or so. Nathan Fernandez into the attack.
Guess away with that one first up. What's Dave Fulton doing in amongst the trees in the background there? Going back to that shot, Ollie. It was Fulton, wasn't it?
Blake Cullen left the field after that over. I hope there's nothing wrong with him there. That was just something precautionary. And I think it's the aforementioned Toby Rowland-Jones who's come on as the extra fielder. He's 21, is he, Toby? Not years of age. Well, a misfield there, slight misfield from Eskenazi. It might be a bit harsh there. Ball bounced a little bit. I'm not sure what on, but at least he got something behind it. It didn't go through him. So it's just a single that it cost rather than 4 if it'd have missed it completely.
Single out to deep backward point, and 74 for 3. Reverse and 4 runs. Lovely shot by Cook. Follows Ingram into the 20s.
So good over by Fernandez. Spoilt with a very good shot actually to complete the over. Halfway point of the Glamorgan innings. Glamorgan 78 for 3. Be looking to more than double this, that's for sure. Lost 3 early wickets from Middlesex perspective. Breakthrough here would be nice. 2 good players, both got in their 20s now. So settled into this surface, and they'll be looking to up that run rate, that's for sure.
Short pulled away hard. Dragged down first up from the leg spinner. Gripped it a little bit too much. Scattering Tim Mercer. Something you've been trying to do for years, Gus. Better from Holman. Just a single out to Milan. Tim Mercer and John Simpson in the background there, talking to Ian Salisbury, Richard Johnson, coach. Mercer was featuring on a video from the MCC the other day with Niall O'Brien, looking back on that test match. 2019 when he picked up the fifer against England.
What, did Tim get a fifer at Lord's? Did it happen to be the cheapest fifer that's ever been taken at Lord's?
Have you heard that story?
Yeah, not that he's talked us through it, of course.
Very good from Holman.
I must say that was a wonderful morning watching Mertz take those wickets. I was in Jamie Cox's, well, it wasn't Jamie Cox then, it was John Stevenson's office, which has got one of the best views in the world. I sat there overlooking Lord's in the pavilion and watched Mertz get his fifer. Special moment.
Drifting across the off stump. Thought about the yelp, but it was never straightening enough, that one. Andrew Balburney and Paul Sterling will be out there for Middlesex boys on Thursday. Good stop. End of the over. 11 gone. 84 for 3. Good recovery from Holman. 4 off the first ball. Drags it short. Put pressure on the over. Against these two, settling in now.
Yeah, some encouraging signs for Glamorgan with these two at the crease. Ingram 31, Cook on 22, both with healthy strike rates. The ball's making a nice sound when it hits their bats, which suggests it's finding the middle of it. Middlesex will be desperate to break this partnership before it starts doing some damage to what's been a reasonably good first half of the innings for Middlesex.
Width, pace off, Cryer catch it, but through backward point it goes. Boundary to start the over.
Yes, it's, as a bowler, it's a nightmare when your first ball goes for 4. A slower ball, just enough width, just out of reach of the diving fielder. Suddenly puts under pressure. Higgins' last over, first ball went for 4. Holman's last over, first ball went for 4.
Punched off the middle stump. Down to long on, tucked up all right. Cook came together with the score on 51, these two. At the end of the 7th. Kieran Carlson falling. Just a single again, and much like Holman, Higgins recovering this over. Still got to get out of it though, 7 off it so far. And for 12 off his first. Fine of Holden. Boundaries finish the over for Glamorgan. Cooks into the 30s. Higgins goes for 12 off his second over as well.
Yeah, not a great delivery to finish with. Just helped on its way there, the batter. Nothing Max and Holden could do down at the deep fine leg boundary. Partnership gathering momentum.
Fernandez goes down the ground all the way. Ingram moves to 39, 100 up for Glamorgan at the start of the 13th. Boundaries at the start of each of the last 4 overs and pressure on the youngster for this one now.
Yep, clear the boundary by some distance that. Encouraging words from the captain, Eskenazi, but still there on your own at the end of your run-up with the ball in your hand. And somehow got to try and get a wicket or restrict the batters.
That one's angled across, just a single. That's the sweeper Milan. Long-time academy player at Middlesex. Giving himself room, going over the top, straight to us as well. Thumps into a commentary tent, and 4 more. Cook to 36, and this partnership growing at a fair rate now. They've just gone past the 50 partnership, came together with the score on 51. That's 6, bringing up the partnership. Nicey bowls early down the track there, Cook. Forced to play it respectively to Holden.
Yep, early challenges here for Nathan Fernandez. Start of his professional career with Middlesex. 2-in batsman.
Swung up into the air again. Goodness me, that's gone a long way. Over the top of the commentary tent on this occasion. 6 more. Big over for Glamorgan.
Ingram starting to open his shoulders and show his class. Lining up Nathan Fernandez. That's a huge hit over us. Probably into the car park area. 18 runs off the over. 1 ball to go.
Gets out of it with a single. 115 for 3. Glamorgan. This partnership backing up that decision to win the toss and bat first.
Yep, the run rate at one stage was sort of 7.5 and over. It's now up to just under 9. So this Glamorgan innings gathering real momentum at the right time. What can Eskenazi come up with to try to check it? And the answer for this over is Luke Holman.
Dabbed single. Start the over. Ingram close to the first 50 of the competition. Wide of the long off fielder. Higgins, a gentle stroll to collect that one.
That's a classic shot there by Chris Cook. Just giving himself a little bit of room, hit the ball over. Sort of widest, straightest extra cover. One bounce for 4. Minimum risk. Top draw shot.
Chase for 2 on the boundary. They'll think about a second, but Cracknell's there quickly enough.
Middlesex need a wicket.
Just a single again to Milan. Sunglasses on out there. It will be a low sun if anything comes towards him. Oh, just about. Got bad on that one. Down to the pitch, one hand off as he drags it into the onside.
It's been the exceptional thing about Cook's innings to date. It's 23 deliveries he's faced, and he doesn't really feel that he's gone out there and slogged, has he? He's just played some really smart, classy shots. Not high risk.
There's the 50 for Ingram. Swept over the 2 fielders up inside the circle. 14 done. Ingram goes to 50 off 33 deliveries. Brilliant innings from him. Glamorgan needed it desperately, and he delivers again. .50 for Ingram with 4 4s and 3 6s.
I was just sort of wondering, I hadn't seen Blake Cullen re-emerge, but he's bowled his 4 overs at 2 for 23, so he's off the field with whatever ailment he's got. Anderson's got 2 overs left, Helm's got 2, so that's 4 of the 6 remaining. Middlesex got to find 2 more overs from Holman, Fernandez or Higgins.
Be a nice shot if someone could find it. So, Cullen would be sat on it, but I think he's just for you anywhere around because it's not being tended to. Anderson's going to have to bowl, this being his 3rd. Eskenazi with a tap on the backside. He'll need one at the back somewhere from Anderson as well. Higgins the other end also from Helm. Helm's got 2 to go. Higgins 2 to go. Anderson 1 after this. Nice from Anderson. Slow ball. Done for Ingram. There's Blake Cullen. Bowled well. Couple of wickets. Bowled out. A little chat with Rory Coots. That's not one of the physios, fortunately. Nobody's tending to him, so hopefully, for whatever reason, Cullen's off. It's a minor issue. Good stop. Brilliant stop on the boundary rope. That's outstanding from Max Holden. Slapped into the hands of him as he parried that one back in. Oh, good again from Anderson. This is excellent. He's having a good day with the ball once more. The Berkshire boy. Width and put away. Given the treatment, Anderson sliding it across Ingram, who makes no mistake.
Again, it's out there for that. But he's just sort of sat back on the stumps. He's a wonderful player, isn't it? Surgical almost, watching the way that he goes about building an innings.
Good finish to the over for Anderson. Just the one boundary in it. Morgan 5 to go here at Northwood on the live stream from Middlesex. 135 for 3.
Plenty of wickets in hand. Lost 3 early wickets, Glamorgan, but this partnership approaching 100 now. 5 overs to go, run rate 9. They'll be looking to get close to 200, I would imagine. Middlesex ideally would be probably content now to chase something similar to what they chased against Gloucestershire, which was 181. But they're going to have to work quite hard to keep these two batters under control.
So the final 5, 2 from Helm, 2 from this man Higgins, who's gone for 24 so far, and 1's come from Anderson, who's gone for 25 of his 3. Slow ball first up, thumped into the advertising board, 4 runs.
Well, in each of Higgins' over, the first ball's gone for 4. Takes pressure off the batters, puts huge pressure on the bowler.
I just wondered, does Eskenazi need to think about gambling and bringing back Helm a little early here? Usually a bolt, final 2 overs from one end. This partnership could do a lot of damage between now and, well, we're nearly at that time. We can't bring it back early now, it's 4 overs to go after this, but could that have been a gamble worth taking? Pushed across, a little bit quicker. Oh, didn't pick that up first time.
Could be the first wide of the innings, that. Phew. Understand. I've seen worse given.
That would have been a wide for sure. Got away with that one, Higgins. Pushed straight to cover. There's been 2 leg byes in this innings so far. First extra. Other than leg byes. Good from Holman to the non-strikers, and it's well backed up. 3 out there behind Higgins. There was a thought of a second, which Holman quickly dispelled. Put a little bit of doubt in the batter's mind as well. To be careful there, Cook. They're looking for 2. It's Cracknell coming in. 2 they get.
Perfectly timed miss hit.
That's away. Leg side from Higgins. Cook it. Couple away from a 50. Apologies, that was his 50. 26 deliveries for Cook. Quicker than Ingram. Took 31 deliveries to get there. That was his 8th 4. Swung hard, swung big, and big enough. Even for Cracknell. That was too much. 6 to bring up the 150. First 6 Cook's innings.
Yeah, an excellent over there for Glamorgan even. Just hit him with a breeze. Would a taller man have stopped that? Probably not. There's always going to be a challenge. But Middlesex in trouble here now. Essex. Glamorgan. So running away with it, but that run rate is now up to 9.5 and over, and a score of 200 is on the horizon.
Hit straight back. Oh, and put down. He went to a nasty position. He's disappointed with himself, Anderson, but it went. Caught him in a. Yeah, you can see ringing out the hands. Just tucked up the bowler as it went back to him. Oh, down the ground. All the way. They're really in the mood now. Into the 70s, Ingram.
That made a lovely slap noise, didn't it, when it hit the bat? Straight as a die. I suppose you did a little bit of fade if you're a golfer. Just a little bit of cut on it. But certainly a long way down the middle of the fairway. Wonderful shot. Middlesex changing their line slightly, coming around the wicket. Sorry, over the wicket.
Edged! Oh, just out of reach. Thought it was quite a fine short third. 4 more. 10 off the first 3 of the over.
Oh, we saw at the start of the innings, catches taken, balls flying to that fielder there on the edge at short third. When it's going your way, they got a hand. When it's not, and they slip one side of the field or the other, and Glamorgan consistently finding the gaps here.
It's a single. Oh, it's like Misfield. They thought about 2. They're not going to come back for it. Milan getting in the return. That would have been tough for Anderson if that was 2, having gone 6-4 and then 2 off Ingram. It brings Cook back on strike last 2. Short ball, slow one, dragged. We will think 2 again here. Oh, there's a mix-up. Throw comes in, but they're back. Settled quickly. Ingram safe. 101 balls bowled. 165 on the boards. Step across, pace off. Mistime drive and just the single to end. Ingram on 77, 13 off the over. He's done well to get out of that actually after a 6 and a 4 second and third ball, but this is an outstanding partnership now for Glamorgan with 115 for the 4th wicket. Over to you, Tom Helm, from a Middlesex perspective, because these two are powering through for Glamorgan. It's Middlesex's main man with the ball in T20 cricket. He's going to have to find a way, bowling 12 of the last 18, to slow them. And to do that, you fancy he's going to have to pick up the wickets. For a single to the bottom of the bat, really. Pace off, scooped, chance, put down for 4. There was the sun. We said it, it's going to be tough for Milan out there. Low sun. Behind the pavilion, behind us. I don't feel like much of an excuse for Helm at the moment, though.
Put a bit down the sun. He just seemed to get in a horrible position with that. That's a catch that should have been taken, I'm afraid. I know you can mention the sun, but just got in a horrible position to try and catch it.
Drop, followed by 6. It's an unwritten rule in cricket, isn't it? Cook moves to 67, 177 for 3. 11 off the start of Helm's over. Into the slot, a little bit of width to free up those arms. Yeah, he went at it Milan with fingers pointing to the sky and with the ball always dipping on him. Just slipped down out of those hands where instead it needed perhaps the bucket. Misjudgment from Middlesex's overseas. Costly to the tune of 10 runs. How much more? Width again, goes up in the air again. Hand to the sky to block the sun. This time for Anderson, who tries to flick it back in. He can't. He's been outstanding in the field so far, Anderson. Helm will mutter to himself, no doubt, as that ball squirts through. Toe end of the bat, scooped. Edge flying fine. 15 off the over, 2 to go of it.
Well, Helm will feel a bit disgruntled here. A couple of misfields on the boundary have cost him 6 runs.
Width again. 6. Oh, dearie me, mind yourself, sir. Goodness me. Unfortunately, it wasn't the fellow with the pint. It'll be no laughing matter to Helm, though. 21 off the over, 1 to come off it.
This innings partnership is no laughing matter for Middlesex. It's grabbed hold of this game and taken it away. Is that a good effort or a stupid effort? I'm not quite sure. People around him won't be too happy if knock the beer all over them on an evening like this, but admire his gallantry.
Slow ball, slapped hard. Slapped hard into the gap as well. All the way along the matting to the pavilion. 25 off the 18th. And that with a drop second ball. Tough over for Helm. Tough over for Middlesex. 191 for 3. 12 balls to go. Where does this innings go now for that man Ingram? Cook as well.
Well, one of these two might be eyeing up 100. Change the game completely, suggesting one stage 180, 200, could be 210. No, it could be even more than that if the last over is anything to go by.
Attempted Yorker, low full toss, just drags for a single. Ingram moves to 79. Cook on to strike on 81. Both of these will just be thinking every ball goes now. And one of them may well go to 3 figures. A Run fests at Merchant Taylors School. Low full toss again, just squirts in front of mid wicket, and they'll be able to get back for 2. Fielder in the deep out at cow corner was Peter Milan. Ten balls to go. Low full toss again, up in the air, and 1 bounce. Oh, disagreement between the fielder and the umpire. Fielder's given it as 4, umpire's given it as 6. Umpire's changed his mind. May have felt as though he was in with a chance for a moment. Max Holden coming around. Pretty close to the rope. One bounce to Holman. For a moment, he'd have thought about the catch. Higgins looks out ruefully. 50 up for Higgins. None for 50 off 3.4. $199 for 3. Low full toss in the air again. Gone again. Holden at long on. It's just too juicy, that one. Wasn't that low. Into the arc for Ingram. From around the wicket as well. 85 Ingram, 88 Cook, 7 balls to go. Who wants it of these two? 200 up for Glamorgan. It looked an interesting call at 2 down in the power play. 51 for 3, just out of it. 154 runs later, though. $160 runs later. Ingram's on to 91 from 50 deliveries. 6 deliveries left.
Well, Middlesex have not been able to come up with any answers, have they? 2 Glamorgan batsmen came together, 51 for 3. Glamorgan in trouble. 160 runs they've added. And a total of 220 plus is what Middlesex are going to have to chase down here. So Glamorgan batters have struck the ball beautifully on this fast scoring ground, but equally the challenge for Middlesex as a bowling side is to come up with something to challenge that, and everything they've tried to do has come short. Hence 91 and 88 against the 2 batters' names. 88 of 36 balls.
That's gone. That's gone a very, very long way. No 2 ways about it. They are going to slap and slap hard here. Slapping square of the wicket. Cook's on to 94.
The beautiful thing about that, he's not committed, has he? It's a slower ball from Helm, but he's just sat there, waited, and then swatted the ball beautifully over deep mid wicket. This ball's just made a fantastic noise when it's hit these 2 batters' bats.
100 up. Cook goes to 100 from 38 deliveries. What a recovery. What an innings from 51 for 3. These 2 have powered Glamorgan to a huge score at Northwood. And Middlesex are going to have their work cut out to turn this one around.
No, it's been a stunning display. Was just saying at the start of his innings. Again, there wasn't any. I mean, that's not a wild slog. That's a controlled hit. The ball's in the slot, and he's just smoted it over deep mid wicket. Beautiful striking of a cricket ball. Middlesex sitting quite pretty at the halfway stage. Glamorgan on about 70 odd. Last 10 overs have gone for 15 and over by the look of it, if my maths is right.
Just a single down to long off. Well, anything Cook can do. Was there any thought of the second there? Cook's gone to 101. His first T20 century, surpassing the 72, his previous highest score. So 1 century in 6 50s and 122 innings for the birthday boy of yesterday. Over to Ingram. 9 needed for him. 3 balls left. Helm as good a death ball bowler as there is around. That's going to be a wide. Whether he took a moment's pause or he was just watching the keeper to make sure it was gathered cleanly and the ball was dead, but comfortable wide. 225 for 3. That'll ease Ingram a little. Gave him a little look. He's still got 3 to swing at. Comfortably surpassed the highest score here previously, 198 for 2 in the first Blast fixture. Just be a single, will it? They're going to think 2. They're going to not get back for it. There'll be no century for Ingram. He moves to 92, 226 for 3. Well, Cook's been hitting them cleaner. Fair play to Colin Ingram. Team game, not an individual one. Eases that single. Cook 101 for 39. Up in the air this time, and that one should go. Oh no, it's gone all the way. Wow, hasn't he got hold of that? Holding the field up at long on. I thought he'd got underneath it too much. It's another 6 for Cook.
Well, even the miss hits are going. Dragged that from wideish of mid-off. Just got enough of it to clean, but Helm's figures here 63. And his first couple of overs didn't go for many. So he's been punished severely.
And that goes as well. They just kept coming for Glamorgan. And it's a massive 6 to finish. Cook moves to 113, Ingram 92. There was trouble for Glamorgan in the 7th when they came together at 51 for 3. But boy oh boy, did they put to bed any doubts about winning the toss and batting.
Stunning display of batting by those 2 Glamorgan batters. Put Middlesex to the sword completely. They said at the halfway stage, maybe mid-70s. 160 runs scored in the last 10 overs, 16 and over, and quite rightly both of these players getting a standing ovation from their teammates as they walk off. Middlesex at the halfway point would have thinking we're doing quite well here, but the attack has just been torn apart by some wonderful striking. Again, the bowlers' inability to check that. You've got to find ways, haven't you, whether it's slower balls, Yorkers, whatever you're doing. You've got to try and find something to limit such destructive stroke play, but Middlesex have been unable to do that. And another game they're going to have to play very well to win.
Second highest score by Glamorgan, both against London Counties, 240 for 3 at the Oval in 2015, Glamorgan's previous highest. So a couple of runs shy of that. What an innings by Cook. 113 for him, Ingram 92, Middlesex just not able to find the answer. That shot by Milan. We'll evaluate that as the chase goes on here at Northwood. For a moment on the live stream though, from myself, Kevin Hand and Angus Fraser, we'll take a break, join you back in just a couple of minutes, where Middlesex have been set 239 to win. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Merchant Taylors School. 239 is the target for the Middlesex batting lineup, who have their work cut out here against a Glamorgan side who were in the moods, setting that total 51 for 3 to 238 for 3. An astonishing display of hitting from Cook and Ingram, who over the years has done so much damage to Middlesex with a bat. He's done plenty of damage again today, but a maiden T20 century for Cook, who turned 37 yesterday. Quite the present he's given to Glamorgan tonight. 229 for 9. Middlesex's highest first-class score, highest T20 score previously. That at Radlett against Gloucestershire in 2022. They've got to go 10 better tonight if they are to pick up their first win of the group stage. Stephen Eskenazi called wrong at the toss, whether he'd have batted first, whether he'd have bowled first. Either way, he and Joe Cracknell are going to have to come up with something pretty special at the start here for Middlesex in the power play. I'm Kevin Hand alongside me, Angus Fraser.
Evening. Still recovering from that. Difficult to know what to say when you see the ball. I mean, it's wonderful striking of the ball, to hit the ball consistently that well. I mean, whilst the boundaries here, actually they're decent sized boundaries. They're not sort of, it's not a pokey little ground this by any stretch of the imagination.
First ball's a single.
You just sit here and consistently see the ball hit the middle of the bat and fly over the boundary. It's sort of, I mean, there's admiration for the striking of the ball, but there's also frustration from Middlesex perspective that they've let what was a decent position slip alarmingly.
Tickled, gets through. Well, that will help. They're going to need some help, you'd imagine, Middlesex. There was a helping hand from Milan on the boundary. Cracknell off the mark with a boundary himself.
Yeah, Middlesex don't get anywhere near this. They've got to get going. And you feel there's got to be a few little bits of fortune like that's got to go their way. Not a great bounce there for the fielder.
Tight bowling. Cracknell doesn't get that one through. You can see what he's trying to do. He's chopped down hard in it. Very much a Paul Sterling shot of old, that one. Just a punch through the offside. Cracknell unable to penetrate the field. Sung away. 4 more for Cracknell. I don't think he's going to leave anyone in any doubt in this power play how he's going to go about it.
So again, Middlesex can't look to sort of repeat what Glamorgan did, which was didn't quite get the. I've sort of said it around 70 odd on a couple of occasions here at the halfway stage, but Middlesex are going to need to be over 100.
McElroy onto the pads, a leg by again. 10 off the first 5. Only 13 on the board at the end of the first 2 overs for Glamorgan. Blake Cullen finishing with figures 4 for 23, 4 overs, 23 runs and a couple of wickets, but bowled out.
I think we can forget those first couple of overs now. They seem pretty irrelevant when 238's on the board.
Well, nearly nutmegged himself. Eskenazi had to get the foot out of the way on that one. Went for the scoop. McElroy followed him. Well bowled. 10 off the first.
So a good start by Middlesex, but they're going to have to do something similar. Well, something more in every over, and it's a question of sort of how. You can't give yourself much time to get yourself in. You've got to go pretty much from the word go. But even so, you've just seen the nature of this surface. The ball's come on beautifully. The ball's made a lovely sound when it struck the bat. Fast outfield, so You do want to give yourself a couple of balls just to sort of try and get used to things, but Mr. Podmore for Middlesex.
Oh, through it goes. First ball.
Player.
Yep.
Harry, lovely lad. Went to Kent from Middlesex. Now ended up in Wales. Very popular, not just around the Middlesex team, I think very popular around the members as well. A Middlesex boy through and through, brought up in Acton. Played at Ealing. Has obviously done well at Kent, but he's been swatted for 4 there by Cracknell, so no doubt's going to be on the front foot. And the love that the side has for him will disappear, and they'll be wanting to destroy his evening at Merchant Taylors School. We'll see who comes out on top.
Finest down for Middlesex down at Taunton. Just a single. Sweepers out there. See what Cracknell's trying to do. Can get it fine of him. Back to 7. Down at Taunton, and a victory down there. A bit of a green top. No Finn. No Roland Jones. And at the very last minute, Chris Rogers realised no Mercer either. Where's Mercer? Playing for Ireland. Right, we're moving track. Quite the story that one was.
Yeah, I was pretty angry that day.
I was just going to say, I won't ask you to repeat what you said when I saw you that morning, Gus. Leg by Taken. Mixing up the pace.
The one thing here for Middlesex is bad is he's not trying to hit the ball too hard. We saw the striking of Ingram and Cook, and they weren't hitting the ball hard. They just got the bodies in good position, held the stroke, and found the middle of the bat. So that's the danger sometimes. You don't get any more than 6 for hitting it over the boundary. You don't get 10 for hitting it over the crowd.
Will be wide. I think that's as well, extraordinary to say. I think that's as many leg byes as certainly by the 17th over or so when we marked the first wide of the Middlesex innings. Leg by in the first, a leg by in the second, and now wide. 4 wides, all innings. 4 byes. Get there in the end, 4 extras in that entire innings. Cry of catch it, but Cracknell got hold of that one nicely. 4 more for him. Followed him, leg side.
Very matching Cracknell's arc, that, isn't it? Looks to sort of get low, pull upwards. Looking for that fine leg boundary. Looking for 6s, really. 4 will do.
Cry catch, that's a good stop. Leg by signal though. Cracknell remains on 17. Eskenazi is on 1 from 3. Podmore goes for 10. For his opening over, a couple of leg byes as well though. 22 without loss after 2.
Yeah, so most games, excellent start by Middlesex. Delighted with the first 2 overs. But when you consider that the run rate's gone up after 2 excellent overs, it shows the size of the task facing not just these 2 but the rest of the Middlesex batting lineup. But got to go out there with optimism, confidence, believing you can do it. Chance to make a name for yourself.
Oh, it gets through the field, just a single. He nearly got away with it, McElroy. Well, he did get away with it in a way. A wide full toss. Cracknell just left stretching for it slightly, meant he couldn't get that placement. Picked out the fielder. Yeah, extraordinary to say 238 on the board, and there are only 4 extras in that. I usually think there's a couple of no balls and 3 hits that have flown as well. Missed time, but 4 runs. Swinging hard at that one, Eskenazi. His first boundary.
One thing, T20 cricket back at Merchant Taylors School, no shortage of action, that's for sure. No matter what happens, the people that turned up to the 2 games have been well entertained.
That's hit, calls a catch. Oh, misfield again from Glamorgan. Well, if they can take it as close tonight, Middlesex will certainly be entertained. Although I'd imagine they'll be just as deflated if they fall short, no matter how close they come this evening. Slow ball, well bowled. 6 off the over so far, 2 to come of it. I'm sure need will Cracknell feel here in these final 2 deliveries of the over to try and find the boundary. It'll be a wide as well. That goes as a cry catch. Root underneath it, but off the bat there was only one outcome there, surely. And 6 it is. Cracknell's on to 24 from 12. Middlesex getting in on the act now.
Yeah, excellent shot there by Cracknell. Fetched that from outside off stump. Ball got up there in the wind. Safely carried over the deep square leg fielder's head. And Middlesex's first 6. First of many, we hope.
Oh, that's hit hard. That was a projectile. Watch out, kids in the background playing their own little game out there. That would have ramped hard. Low trajectory. Powerful shot by Cracknell.
We were saying before, it's been an excellent start by Middlesex after 2 overs. Even better after 3. 39. 13 and over. Head of the rate. On target. Long way to go. Just need 200 now. Sodia into the tack. Not been to, I say, in my previous position, travel down to Cardiff very often to watch 2020s, but I just remember this lad getting a few wickets against us.
Oh, that gets through. Sweep hard from outside the off stump, Eskenazi. Banjak's the keeper. You can forgive Cook for being a little bit tired, perhaps. 113 runs in. That's through. Eskenazi's second boundary. Middlesex 47 without loss. This is a solid start from the hosts. As you mentioned, Middlesex do well to mind their work, not go too hard at it, but I saw a few of the faces outside of the pavilion in the interval. It's going to be an angry side, Middlesex, in this chase, you'd imagine. Outside the line of off. Mainly bowlers, that's all, to be fair, with the angry faces, but you can imagine they'll be pumped for this. They won't be happy. 3 defeats to start. That was a pretty angry skipper who gave the interviews the other evening after the Gloucestershire defeat. Cry catch again, but it was swept hard and placed well. 4 more and 50 up for Middlesex.
Yeah, 50 in the 4th over, so facing this huge target, Middlesex made a excellent start. Just watching Cracknell bat, he gets very low, doesn't he? It's almost in a very powerful sort of crouch position to hit the ball.
I was going to ask, who does he remind you of in that sense, Cracknell, but it's quite a hard question because he's your archetypal modern day batter, isn't he, Cracknell, especially T20?
A couple of shots there. I mean, obviously a better player at spin than the person I'm thinking of, but a bit like Robin Smith at times, the way that he gets down low to play those shots.
Cut like Smith was his favourite shot. The Hampshireman, wasn't it? Cracknell's on to 36. Middlesex end of the fourth, 56 without loss.
Well, it's been a remarkable start here by Middlesex. Wonderful batting by Joe Cracknell. Pleased for him. Sort of big summer for him. Get some runs. Shown potential for the club. Had a quieter T20 last year, but there's definitely something there. The big innings today help him sort of feel that not that he lacks self-confidence, as you saw when he took that catch the other day, or the fact that he even went for that catch, but help him feel that he's arrived.
Southwaite into the attack. James McElroy, number 26 from his 2 so far. Podmore's first over, going for 10. Sosodji's first, going for 16.
12.
My apologies, 12. Scoreboard updating in front of me. Good slower ball.
There's 4 byes in the over as well, weren't they? Which is why I went for 16.
Thanks for making me look good, Gus. It gets through. They might think about 2 here. No, it's not pierced enough. Over to Cracknell. I would say if Cracknell is probably going back to, but even Darvin Milan, you know, got that century in 2008, but Cracknell's probably the most exciting young T20 batter coming through at Middlesex. Back to Paul Sterling, getting products of Middlesex cricket, but Irish cricket as well. I mean, Morgan likewise. Chipped nicely. Kicks on down the hill to the lake ends. Cracknell's on to 40.
Cracknell, product of North Middlesex cricket. So, club on Moswell Hill, Shepherd's Cot. Wonderful sight when you look at an aerial view of it, all the cricket grounds together. Scored many runs at North Mid. Showing his talent today.
Slow ball bouncer, swatted down to long leg for a single. It's on to 41, Cracknell. 6 off the over, last ball for Eskenazi's face. Going to charge, I think about 2, but very much bottom part of the bat. As Eskenazi pulls it into the onside for a single to end the over. 5 gone, 63 without loss. Just the start Middlesex needed. They need an awful lot more to come. Probably one of these 2 to go all the way.
Well, you say full credit to these 2. After watching the bowling attack get flogged around this ground, easy to come out with a sort of defeatist attitude. But certainly Cracknell, Eskenazi yet to get going. I think maybe has tried to hit the ball too hard on a couple of occasions, but they've come out and given Middlesex a wonderful start. Is 63, so up with the run rate.
Prior to that single off the last ball that Cracknell faced, was fancying the quickest Middlesex 50, if that would be in sight. It won't now. It was 18 balls by Henderson. Eskenazi steps across and slaps that one hard. That's well placed. 2 out there in the deep. Ramps up. Middlesex ramping up the runs. Slower ball from Podmore, and Eskenazi on this occasion probably quite grateful that was a slower ball.
Yeah, a long way to go. I'll ask you, normally asking me questions. At what stage did Glamorgan start getting a bit worried?
234.
With an over to go.
It's another boundary. Oh, is it? Yes, yes, it is. 4-4. Come on's the cry from the crowds. Should we be the TV umpires?
In Glamorgan, you might have got away with that, but crowd here, home crowd. Yeah, he's fallen on the rope and touched the ball at the same time. So a great effort there by the fielder, but on this occasion unable to stop the boundary.
That's a lovely, lovely stroke by Stephen Eskenazi. He's on to 24. Middlesex is 75 without loss, and that is, well, quite possibly the best of the lot so far.
Maybe
taking the sixes out of it.
Yeah, but a classy shot again. Just to watch the ball onto the bat, get good bat on it, find the gap, trust the outfield. So Eskenazi has been the junior partner in this partnership, but 3 boundaries in this over. Starting to find his feet.
Oh, bottom edge. Gets past the leg stump, gets past Cook, not past short fine leg though.
So last ball of the power play. 6 overs at the start of the innings when only 2 fielders were allowed outside the 30-yard circle. It's one of the better power plays that Middlesex have had in T20 cricket. 76 without loss. Does Cracknell complete the power play or look to get his side up to a number with an 8 at the start of it?
Clip fine of the deep backward square leg. Should just be a single though it is. End of the power play. Cracknell 42, Eskenazi 25. Middlesex chasing 239. 77 without loss.
Well, it's been a brilliant start by the Middlesex openers. Eskenazi and Cracknell standing there pretty chuffed with the way that they've gone about this reply, but realising it's only going to get tougher and tougher. Glamorgan now allowed to put another 3 fielders out on the boundary. That's going to be more of a risk trying to hit those 4s and 6s. This hat's a glue. Is it glue? Australian spinner.
I was going to say it in an Aussie accent.
Fair dinkum.
Interesting run up. Plenty to think about just while he's flipping that ball from hands to hands. It's ugly, mate.
Safe to say this.
Oh, use of the feet. Inside edge saves him. 3 dot balls to start up. Need to get 2 down on a little bit of a stall, a little bit of a slow down here. He's giving himself and his side a brilliant platform. How many times does he go at it before he actually starts running? Look for 2. Back they come. Throws to the keeper's end and Cracknell's back. He's on to 44.
Yeah, just looking at Hatzaglue's sort of preparation there. Certainly making every ball an event.
Over 8 could be in trouble here, couldn't it?
No. Still, look at that. Intent.
Reverse. Gets it away beautifully, Cracknell. He's on to 48. It looks like he's winding up the jack in the box, isn't he? Ready to go before he bowls. Yeah, just crashed him. Oh, now it's going to be close, is it? Not out. Pick up the leg bite. Have a look at the replay on that one at the end of the over. 7 gone. Would have been close, that. 83 without loss.
Yeah, pretty good over there by Hatzaglu. Yeah, just maybe sliding down the leg side. Just watching that over. I think he's going to be a challenge for Middlesex's batters, needing to score 12 runs and over off. Well, you don't have to score 12 runs and over of everybody. You need 12 runs and over overall. But you can't afford 3 cheap overs against any of their bowlers.
Reverse again. There's the 50 for Cracknell. 26 deliveries, 52 runs. And well, if he's done anything, he's at least put a few smiles on faces and relaxed a few nerves out there. A stunning catch the other day in a losing performance for Middlesex. He's given them the perfect foundation here in a very tricky chase.
Yes, stunning innings from the young man. Middlesex will be hoping that he's around in another 7 overs time.
Wow. That's been Cracknelled. 58 for the Middlesex opener. When he gets going, Cracknell, he's one of the most exciting young prospects to come through Middlesex with the bat in T20. It's fine at the fielder, but should... tumbling stop, they will get back for the second. He's on to 60 from 28.
That's good running, that too. Putting the fielder under pressure. It's a good outfield here, but a few little bumps and make sure make it difficult for the fielder to attack the ball.
It's a single down to long off. 13 off the over, 2 to come of it. Eskenazi still only faced 17 deliveries. Oh, yes, no, the throw goes in, the throw misses. No buzzers on this one either. That may have been tight. Cracknell's on to 62, Eskenazi's 26, end of the 8th. Middlesex, 99 without loss. Sunny evening at Merchant Taylor's, look at that. It was a slow start, as we mentioned, those first couple of overs, but they were 51 for 3 after 7. Then came the partnership, and look at the acceleration at the end.
I'd have thought that worm should be a bit steeper than that when you look at it, don't you, really? Because of the amount of runs that were scored in that last 5 overs. I suppose an angle of 45 degrees is a quite steep one, isn't it?
You used the word in the, it was the a well-paced innings, and that was before that last little jolt. Bowls him. Or has he? What's the stump him? Not out. How was that not bowled in? That must have... You got the replay from the other end, bud? No, mind you, won't see it. Keeper's back. Don't worry. Nice use of the feet. Nice connection. Very nice shot to bring up the century for Middlesex. 105. Middlesex are in the 9th. Cracknell powering through the runs now on 68.
Again, that's a magnificent stroke. He's not really tried to overhit it, is he? Just made sure, stayed down on the ball, watched it onto the bat. Beautiful shot for youngsters to watch and try to emulate.
Through for the single. Throws squirted back in quickly, but it was always one. 69 for Cracknell. Eskenazi 26. Yeah, I was going to mention the quickest 50 for Middlesex. It was 19. Tyrone Henderson and O.A. Shah both doing it. 19 balls faced. Eskenazi sweeps hard. Root comes around. Deep backward square leg as well on the move. Yeah, Cracknell, after 17, he was within sight of equaling them. But a single off his 18th ball, leaving him on 42.
Yeah, exactly.
24 years of age now, Peter Hatsoglu. Oh, crunched over cover. Eskenazi into the 30s, end of the 9th. Middlesex 112 without loss.
Well, it's a stunning over for Middlesex. A 6 and a 4, that would have been a wide probably, but he could be stumped off a wide. So just as well that Eskenazi managed to reach that delivery. But Middlesex, unbelievable, scoring at 112 without loss after 9. But they've got to keep this going. It just shows the size of the task that faces them. But they've given themselves a wonderful chance of producing something remarkable.
Yeah, in that innings 238, you think that Blake Cullen only went for 23 off his 4 overs. They were right at the top of the innings though, bowled out quite early on. Or bowls. Cracknell steps across, a Yorker, wide Yorker thrown in. Just the single out to deep mid-wicket. Strike rate just below 200. Eskenazi 155. His strike rate 31 from 20. Steps across, scoops it. That's classic Eskenazi. Up and over the keeper. He's on 35.
Eskenazi wondering whether that was a no ball over waist height. Don't think it was. Not far away though. Certainly above the knee. Probably below the hip.
Oh, goodness me. That could have gone anywhere. Probably would have been a wide, but bottom edge on the sweep, past the stumps, past the keeper, 4 more.
If you're on an England tour now, they'd be playing a bit of Bon Jovi, wouldn't they? Halfway there. Living on a prayer. A bit like that, isn't it?
It felt like a wing and a prayer at the start of this chase, but what a start it's been. It's driven hard, driven square, and driven for 4. That's one of the shots of the innings so far. Eskenazi's on to 43.
That's a beautiful shot there. Again, just length on the ball, not try to overhit it. Waited for it to arrive and placed it beautifully.
Again, that would have been a wide. It's driven hard and it's driven for 4 more, is it? Yes, it does. Just beat Roots. Valiant effort on the boundary rope. Just beats the man. Eskenazi's on to 47. Middlesex are on to 129 without loss at the end of the 10th. Glamorgan was 78 for 3.
I don't know where to start, do you? It's just ridiculously good cricket from both sides. Cracknell with a smile on his face. How did what did you say? Glamorgan was 78 for 3. So they got 160 in their last 10 overs. Middlesex just need the small matter of 110.
I was going to say, T10 standards, this is a pretty modest chase now. The ridiculous nature of modern day cricket. It's a fantastic start, but that's all it is for Middlesex still. It's a big, big chase to keep this going. Glamorgan will know just 1 wicket, certainly 2, will slow things down, and then all of a sudden pressure builds quickly. That's a gorgeous shot. The back of the Benham End here at Merchant Taylors School.
As you said, that's going to be the challenge for Middlesex, is if this partnership is broken, new batters coming in and scoring at the same rate.
It's hit in the air, but mistimed by Cracknell. Root the fielder. I did ask Dave Fulton in the background there about his position in the trees. Oh, scooped again. Goodness me, he's done it well. He's done it really, really well. And Stephen Eskenazi moves to 50 from 25 deliveries. Well, the captain's watch done, as one of his main men have done it at the other end so far. 134 this partnership. They came out looking to mean business. Mean business they have. Skipper's helping to lead from the front. Middlesex are on the front foot for sure.
I think he's almost scored a run of ball for his first 10 or 12 runs, but shows the acceleration. 4 boundaries in the last over. 5, I think it's the last 5 balls for 4 now. And
that's in the air. Crying catch, but it's fine of the fielder, wide of the fielder indeed. He's on to 55 from 26.
I don't think he was even really trying to hit that. He was just almost guiding it for a single, sweeping the seamer, but a top edge, and it only landed about 2 yards in front of the boundary, so plenty of pace on the ball, using the wind.
It's exactly what you said from the off. Don't go at it too hard out there. No, he steps outside the line of off. Unless there was a little inside tickle on it, there's nothing to have there, but Podmore will certainly ask the question. Well, I said it was an angry-looking Middlesex in the interval, angry at themselves, and they went out angry with the bat. Just see that frustration starting to grow for Glamorgan now. Cook, what a century from him, his first in T20 cricket. Fulton's answer, as you can see there, that little silhouette on him. He said it's a bit warmer out the back with the sun on your back. PA at the ground tonight, the former Kent captain. Hold it, the cry from Roots, just out in front of us. No need for overthrows on the leg by.
Well, Middlesex need under 100, which is a remarkable position for them to find themselves in, with just 11 overs of the innings gone.
I mean, it may not happen, but the remarkable thing is if that run rate's brought below 10 and over, it's just extraordinary in a chase of this magnitude. Just a single to Roots. 11 gone, 140 on the board for Middlesex. Run rate's 11 and over, but yeah, if they were to bring it down to single figures, it would be an extraordinary achievement.
Well, if they get it down to single figures, it's, well, you could argue with what's taken place in the previous 11 overs, this is gettable now, but it's still going to take some remarkable hitting to get Middlesex over the line. But yeah, if that required run rate does get below 10, they're in, well, considering what's taken place to date, you say they're very much in this match. I'm trying to
don't say it. Whatever you think and say, don't say it.
Hats a go glue is bad. I'm trying to remember. That's it. Hats a glue. Hats a glue. Sorry about that.
I thought you were trying to stick clear of an hyperbole.
I was trying to remember how to pronounce. You pronounced it well. You got the rhythm of it. It's a rhythm of a
Hatsoglu.
Hatsoglu. That's it.
I had to practice it in Australia the first few times.
Got it now. Hatsoglu.
Dave Fulton did ask me before the start of the match, how do you pronounce the Glamorgan overseas? Ingram. Can't tell you what I was called for saying that. Not on air anyway. Nice shot again. Root will hold them to a single. No, they're going to go for two. Back they come. That's excellent. Pressure put on the fields.
Excellent run in there by Middlesex, by Cracknell. He's the instigator there. Slightly younger, quicker man. Just going back to names, it's interesting. I spent 2 winters when I was young in New Zealand, and obviously a lot of Maori names over there. And once you get the rhythm of so like you look at a word and how do you, it's Paikokoriki or Paranui, Wahiki, and all. And it's sort of once you get a sort of flow for how the language or how the names are pronounced, you sort of can make a decent stab at pronouncing the words Porirua.
Think about two, just be the one.
So this is everybody highest for the T20 matches. 259 South Africa, 253 Gladiators. Highest chase, this country's 233. And they lost.
That's crashed hard, but just a single again. 4 off the over though, but the pressure is on the bowling side at the moment. Doesn't make it any easier out in the middle for Cracknell and Eskenazi. It's dragged wide of the field, a bit of a miss hit. They'll think about two, they'll settle on one. He was run out in the opening over of Middlesex's first innings of the T20 this year, wasn't he, Stephen Eskenazi? Certainly no need for a run out at this stage here. Two very well set batters.
Pretty good over to date though for Glamorgan. Just the 5 runs off 4 deliveries.
Well, you're saying Middlesex can't really afford 3 or 4 cheap overs against anybody in this chase. He's gone for 24 off 2.4 now. They'll feel he's just got a bit of mystery about him, hasn't he? Much to do with that run-up as anything else, I think. Down the track and crunched hard to cover for a single. Six off the over. Run rate remains in control though. They'll bowl him out at Zoglu because they'll see that he possesses that threat. Oh, has he? Yes, he has. Cracknell's gone for 77. Glamorgan needed that to make a game of this. They were powering their way through Middlesex. Cracknell 77 from 41 deliveries, an incredible 42 deliveries in the end, an incredible innings from him. It's given Middlesex a chance of what would be a stunning chase if they pull it off here. But Hatzoglu manages to pick up Cracknell.
Well, Hatzoglu pushing it down at a decent pace. And, well, it's difficult to see from the angle here, but the heel of his foot is definitely up. It's just a question of whether there's a spike or two behind that line. But umpire, square leg umpire, much better view than us, able to make that decision. So Cracknell leaves the field disappointed, but he's played a stunning innings there and given Middlesex, it's still an outside chance, but at least they've got a chance after 12 overs. Run rate of 12 and over, required rate 11, just over 11 and a half. So all that good work has got to continue. But just playing the reverse route, they're looking to use the pace of the bowler, really pushing it through. If you get something on it, get it up in the air, you'll get it over those fielders on the short third boundary and away for 4.
Oh dear. Oh, they've got away with it. Goodness me. Very nearly a run out. A misfield. And the misjudgment is not punished.
Well, the big thing, I mean, Middlesex has got plenty of batting, but the big thing about wickets is it's dot balls. So Middlesex lose 5 wickets. That's 5 more dot balls, isn't it? Which is something you can afford to have at this stage.
Just a single. I was going to ask you this when the pair were together before, but almost the mindset of the incoming batter now. With Eskenazi there on 59 from 32, there's almost an onus on the batter at the other end to just get going, isn't there, and not let the pressure put on Eskenazi, because Middlesex can't lose him.
No, they definitely don't want to have 2 batters out there with single-figure scores to their name. So, yeah, Max Holden has got to get moving quickly.
Sweeps that one in the air, cry catch. It's fine of the fielder though, and they'll get back for 2. 149 for 1. It's playing spin, Holden. 3 deliveries here. Let's have a look at Sisodia. There's the early reverse from Holden. He fancied it had come, it's just a single. Favoured shot of his, he's not afraid of bringing it out early on.
What does Hatzoglu last over go for?
150 up for Middlesex in the 13th. Oh, he's reversed straight to the fielder, who's held on at the second attempt. Eskenazi's gone for 59. 150 for 2. The 2 set batters out in consecutive overs. And this is where it becomes game on for Middlesex. Glamorgan right back in it now.
It is, and you can see the excitement in the Glamorgan fielders. Shows that Middlesex well in this match. But that's a huge wicket for Glamorgan. Eskenazi batted beautifully again. And both Middlesex's in-batsmen fall in 3 or 4 balls. And it's now down to fresher players to come out and strike the ball like Ingram and Cook did. Just watching the way that the Glamorgan batsman played, and a few times playing shots similar, the ball goes in the air through the gap. You can get away with it some of the time, but you don't get away with it all of the time. So Peter Milan, who's played well in this competition to date, and needs to come in and play Plays similar innings to that he played at Hampshire the other night.
Right-handed, left-handed combo. Plenty of experience at one end. And a stroke down the ground for a single to get off from Milan. That's a lot of experience there from him. He won't panic, Milan. 33 years of age now. Wicket in the over, 151 for 2. Wickets in consecutive overs for Glamorgan. Eskenazi reverse sweep him. Over to Holden and Milan. Milan, who scored, 80 in the second game at Southampton, 30 in the first game at Lords against Surrey, just 2 the other day against Gloucestershire. As that chase looked to go wrong. Good start, good opening stance. Then 4 quick wickets, then another partnership that looked to have won it for Middlesex. 12 to win off the last 12 it was against Gloucestershire, and Middlesex fell short. Required rate moves back up to 12.5 now. Leg side and wides.
Another ball, but when you see those, you always think it'd be nice if it went through the keeper. 5 wides. Gets the over off to a good start.
From a certain point of view. Just be a single. Root sweeping up at cover.
I think Holden's got to look for this boundary over here, deep mid-wicket, where we're sat. Wind assisted. I know it's the longest boundary on the ground, but needs to strike the ball in the same way that Ingram did on a few occasions at the end of his innings, using the wind to help him.
Holden didn't have to wait too long to get in the act. He's got hold of that one. 6 for Middlesex's number 3. His first boundary.
In the slot there from Podmore, tried to follow him a little bit, but didn't get it full enough. Holden enough room to get under the ball, clout it into the artificial net area.
Thinking to just the single, holding on to 10. Required rate just pushed back down to 12 momentarily. It's like watching the stock exchange at the moment, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't got anything to put in the stock exchange. But you almost did a 6 and over, don't you? That's what you're looking at. 2 4s or a 6 and over.
Slow ball manoeuvred by Milan for a single. Bags of experience, got that 80 in his test debut against England. Just 3 tests for South Africa. A little unlucky, 84 it was in the second innings of the second test on debut. Up against Broad and Anderson, averaged 26 in test cricket. A little unlucky that was his only look against Broad and Anderson at the test arena. Reverse again from Holden. Glamorgan will very much have done their homework. They'll know that for Holden that's a key shot of his.
Boundary here, Middlesex need. 11 off the over to date. Hatzaglu's still got 1 over left.
Wait, dot ball. 11 off the over. 162 for 2. Holden's half strike.
Podmore finishes his spell. This will be a ground where he played lots of youth team cricket on the Middlesex Academy, but it's not been his day today. 46 of his 4 overs. So that's about the going rate, isn't it? What Middlesex require, just under 12s. Where's Holden going to look to try to hit Cisadia? Going to have to find the boundary a couple of times in this over, you feel?
Oh, now swung up into the air and taken. Byram, what a catch! 2 games in 3 days and 2 absolute worldies in the fields. He's held on to it. Holden looks at the toe end of his bat. That's an incredible catch by Byram. Almost had no right to take that in the end. It was so close to clearing him. Stunner.
Made it a good catch. I'll question you there just because I think he's misjudged that slightly, but he's corrected himself and he has taken a stunning catch in the end, but a bit of better judgment maybe made that look a little bit easier. But I suppose again the sun's slightly in his eyes. The sun's behind us at this end. Maybe could have caused some of that misjudgment, but yeah, done exceptionally well there to hang on to that. Middlesex lose their 3rd wicket. It's another dot ball, and the pressure increases on each of the players that come in.
Keep the right-handed, left-handed going, so they go to young Holman. Jack Davis is in for John Simpson in this game, another left-hander. Ryan Higgins still to come as well, Martin Anderson. They do bat down a fair way, this Middlesex T20 side. Oh, reverse first up, gets through. Will it go for 4? It's up the hill at the Benham end, so they'll have a chance to stop in this, but he won't. He'll roll over the ropes with it. Middlesex needed that. We wouldn't have thought we were saying this a few overs ago. Middlesex needing every little they can find. Glamorgan just pushing their noses in front again here at Merchant Taylors School. 166 for 3. Holman a big sigh of relief as that one got through in many ways, I'd imagine. Looks for the reverse again, straight to the fielder. Swept hard in the air and put down. Or was it? Was it held? I think there's a bit of confusion as to whether it was or it wasn't. Down is my first thought. There was 1 or 2 in the Glamorgan field who went up with it.
That was a brilliant effort. That if he'd have held on to that, been an absolutely stunning catch. Might get a view of it in a moment after this delivery.
There were 1 or 2 fielders who went up thinking it was a catch. Just a single again. The 4 byes helping a little in this over, but that wicket first ball.
Middlesex need a boundary. Look at that run rate, getting up to nearly 14 and over. It's leg side and a wide. He stepped across, says the umpire. It looks a little harsh on me. Step across he did, but it was still... Just missing leg stump, it's still a wide. This is that catch again. Just look at the fielder diving. It's a really good stop. I mean, that would have been a stunning catch had he held on to it, but he'll be disappointed. But he saved his side 3 runs there, that's for sure.
Nearly hats off for Hatsoglu. I'll get my coat. .158 for 3, end of the 15th.
So 71 runs required off 5 overs. It's going to take some good hitting.
That's very well bowled to begin the over from Douthwaite. Glamorgan were 135 for 3 after 15. Stepping across and crunching it for 4. Lovely shot. Middlesex needed that. Boundary to alleviate a little bit of pressure, lift the mood. You can feel that the crowd were really rocking here at Northwood, just quieting down a little. Again, loads of experience. 104 unbeaten is his highest T20 score, Milan. An 80 which it looked like would help Middlesex the other evening, but a defeat for them there at Southampton.
Middlesex could do with 50 of them now.
Doesn't get hold of that one. Full toss, just misses out. Milan. Gripping game of 2020 cricket at Merchant Taylors School. Noses back in front for Glamorgan after their second highest T20 total. Middlesex asked to go well beyond their highest. Low full toss again. Well, actually it was quite a high full toss. Just the single. Holman thumps the pad with his bat in frustration. 2 new batters at the crease.
Run rate up to 15 and over.
103 was scored off the last 5 overs by Glamorgan. Low full toss again. Milan swings it away for a single. Just 7 off the over. 1 to come. Holman's got to go big, you fancy here.
Well, you just watch those 2 deliveries, and when Cook and Ingram were at the crease, they'd have both gone to the boundary, wouldn't they? Maybe even for 6s, the way they were striking the ball so cleanly.
Sovold. That's well played. Down the hill it goes, which takes some catching. They caught it up, they have. 2 runs. Holman moves to 4. Guess just took a little bit of the sting off it with the angle. It tucked him up. Did well to get it away for something though. 4 from 6 for Holman. Middlesex 177 for 3. Still ahead of Glamorgan on the worm, but it's a lot of runs to score. 15.5.
It is. We just see that Middlesex worm flattening out there since the dismissal of Cracknell. The line is pretty steep going up, but it's just sort of tapered off a little bit. Middlesex need to get it going, and that's going to require a big over. 20. We saw Tom Helm go for probably going for mid-20 runs in each of his last 2 overs. Middlesex need a 25 run over here, really, to give themselves a chance, you feel, of chasing down these 62 runs.
Yeah, they were 135 for 3 after 15, Glamorgan. After 16, they were 153 for 3. 18 runs off the 16th, 13 runs off the 17th. Bowled by Anderson. The 18th, 25 runs bowled by Helm. 20 runs off Higgins bowling the 19th. And 27 off that final over. .72 off the last 3 overs.
So hot Soglu. Obviously trying to take that catch, I think, has injured his finger. Down on the deep square leg boundary. Having a bit of treatment there. Fortunately for him, it's on his left hand, so not affect his bowling hand, but the way he tosses the ball from one hand to the other. I suppose in a sort of need a hygiene. You don't want any blood to get on the ball. Umpires there looking at their watches. I don't know whether Glamorgan are tight to the time.
Douthwaite was running back in that last over, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. So we'll see whether there are any allowances.
That's Oglu's final over. 1 for 25 off 3 so far. The most economical of the bowlers at 8.3. So Sodia went for 34 off his 4, 8.5. Picking up a couple of wickets. Stephen Eskenazi for 59, Max Holden for 11. That's Oglu who removed Cracknell. Big over this. Miss hit for a single for Milan. Just think of all those overs that started racking up around this stage, and even just before it actually, consecutive overs of boundaries, first ball of the overs.
Well, if you're conceding 72 in 3 overs, you're going to struggle to win many games, really. I mean, to fall apart or to concede that many runs in such a short period of time is difficult for any batting side to cope with.
It's a drop catch right at the start of it, wasn't there, from Milan? Oh, Holman looking to reverse. Darted across him. Dot balls and ones stacking up here for Middlesex at the end. 61 from 22.
Yeah, we were complimenting, certainly once Eskenazi and Cracknell got going, the fact that they weren't trying to overhit the ball, but I think that's something we're seeing now from the players that come in. Max Holder maybe a little bit with the shot he got out to, trying to hit too far. Peter Milan, and here with Luke Holman, 4 of 7 deliveries so far.
Oh, dances down, missed stump him. It was a quicker ball by Hatzoglu. But we signalled by singles. Not enough for Middlesex. They need those boundaries. They're going to need their overseas to come up with something pretty special here, you fancy. Bowls him. Milan looking to heave it out of northward. Leg stump rocked back by the Aussie. And the South African has to go. Hatzoglu has his second wicket. Glamorgan have their 5th.
Well, sadly for Middlesex, he's all got a bit desperate here. Huge heaves rather than controlled strokes, but that's what happens when you're needing 15 runs and over. And again, the wicket's important, but it's another dot ball. Just watch that run rate go up and up and up. Cheers to the Glamorgan. First time of it, Glamorgan. Ryan Higgins come to the crease. Very strong, powerful hitter of the ball, but he's going to have to produce something special. 3 a ball. Middlesex need.
Bumps a single into the offside. One to come of the over, just 3 off the 17th. A stark contrast to how the final few overs were going for Glamorgan, but we saw on that worm a few moments ago 3 early wickets and then the partnership for Glamorgan. Middlesex, a big partnership early. 3, now 4 coming quickly at the end. That's Oglu's final ball. Holman hits a single down to long on. 181 for 4. Middlesex need 58 off the last 3.
Yeah, it's slipped away from Middlesex this game, hasn't it? Well, you could argue it slipped away in those last 10 overs, maybe less than that, last 5 overs. There were 100 runs were scored. But they've made a fantastic effort in response to chasing down 238, but as the wickets have fallen, the stroke plan has got more desperate, and the lack of decent contact has been made. You could also compliment Glamorgan's bowlers. They've obviously held it together quite a bit better than Middlesex's at this stage of the innings.
Yeah, it built to the crescendo, didn't it? Byram 7, North East 6, Carlson 16, 92 Ingram, 113 Cook, and then you go into this innings, Eskinazi 59, Crackle 77. Kilroy back into the attack, went for 13 and over off his first 2.
Yes, run.
All overthrow, and they're through. Slip and a slide from Cook. Glamorgan Centurion. Can something just get them going here, Middlesex? 2 off the first of the over, 56 off 17.
Well, they need 3, well, just to get, as you say, to get it going, they need 3 or 4 balls where the ball goes to the boundary in a row.
Look for 2 again here, Root at deep mid wicket. They're going to come back. Throw will go to the wicket keeper's end, will it? Yes, it will, and they're through. Holman on to 9, 185 for 4.
But again, that's a full toss. If you're going to win it, that's got to go over our heads and into the car park behind us.
Holman, of course, had that over, that cameo. Well, it was more than a cameo, wasn't it? He looked to have won it on Monday against Gloucestershire. Underneath that one, so 2 is mid-off. Holds on to the catch. 5th goes for Middlesex. Holman departs, not to be a cameo for him today. Middlesex's chase falling at the last here.
I've just seen there, sliced the ball, hasn't he? There, just not a clean hit. You saw Ingram, everything behind it, depositing it back over the sight screen for 6. So welcome to the crease, Jack Davis, coming to keep wicket, replaces John Simpson. Come and have some fun. It's a good rule change, this one that they've changed, isn't it? The fact that when you're out caught like that, even if the batter's cross, it's still the new batter that faces the next delivery.
That was Taylor taking the catch, just had to confirm it. Subfielder on for Hatsoglu, who's gone off after that injury. Bowled his final over and was out of there. One from one for the pair. Middlesex starting again. 72 were scored off the last 3 overs by Glamorgan. Middlesex didn't have quite that much to score, but they didn't have 2 set batters either. Low full toss picks out the fielder. Just the 6 off the over so far. 1 ball to come. Again, Davis coming in. 1 from 1. Everything's got to go now for Middlesex. Bounce up from McElroy to finish the over. Just the 6 off it. Davis looking to find something. Scoop, a paddle. All the things he's capable of. Dot ball though. 12 to go. 52 to win. 187 for 5.
Well, as you always say, it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? And for sort of 12, 13 overs, the hope was genuinely there for Middlesex. Made an absolutely fantastic effort of chasing down this huge total, but Glamorgan's bowlers have stuck to their task and have come through. It's sort of petering out. Unfortunately, 2 overs to go. You never say never, but it's looking like Glamorgan are going to win this by 20 or 30 runs.
Well, just to put it into perspective, what Middlesex were looking at, the highest chase, or the highest total batting second in this country, 233 for 6 by Sussex at Chelmsford in 2022, and they lost. Highest winning total. Middlesex, 227 for 4 at Somerset and Taunton in 2019. Should have remembered that. Oh, Morgan. Stepping across outside of the off stump, it was angling across. Chipped. Thinking about 2, just a single. Oh, well, slammed into the batter at the non-striker's end, and if that's to sum up the chase for Middlesex at the end, Davis thumps it back into Higgins at the non-striker's end, just hits him on the thigh. 191 for 5. To wide. Southwaite's still running back here at the end as well, which I'm quite sure that maybe some of those big shots Middlesex were going for, they quite picked up on the fact that there might have been pick up on the fact that perhaps it would be a player in at the end. That's well bowled again. Nothing Higgins can do with that. Well, it was sensational from Cook. Sensational from Ingram. It's enough to win this one here at Merchant Taylors' School. Could be another wicket. Oh, gets through Roots. Well, at this stage, he had the right to go for it. Glamorgan have got this 1-1. End of the 19th. Middlesex 192 for 5.
Yeah, welcome boundary for Higgins, just to get him going a bit, but it's not going to change the result of this game. Middlesex refined 43 to win. Need a no ball free hit and a bit more to get over the line here, but I suppose you sit here and you look at it from Middlesex perspective, and how can the bowlers concede so many runs? But equally, you then look at the way that Cook and Ingram did strike that ball, and it was a stunning display of striking. It's almost like being in a driving range, wasn't it? Watching the way that Cook certainly hit helm 2 or 3 times, well, more than that, 4 or 5 times probably, down towards the lake end of the ground here. But as a bowling side, you've got your plans, you've got your little notes in your pocket, which the players have got in their little envelopes. They've got sort of their game plans where they're supposed to be bowling at bowlers. And where batters are looking to hit you. Part of this job is you've got to be able to meet the challenge, haven't you? And Middlesex's bowlers were unable to do that at the end of the innings. And to say Glamorgan's bowlers, full credit to them, they're under pressure till about the 14th
just
over.
Looking. Cracknell fell, final ball of the 12th over, 146 for 1, last ball of the 12th over, and then Eskenazi was gone 5th ball of the 13th. That's a pick up. Helps the net run rate, but nothing more at this stage. 200 in sight for Middlesex, which is extraordinary. Just short of the 6 for Higgins. But yeah, 146 without loss after 11.5. Pressure was massively on Glamorgan. Down the grounds for 6. 11 off the over. Higgins just helping the net run rate here, but nothing much more at this stage. Cheering what's left of the crowd.
But again, you look at some of the sort of strokes that I suppose Middlesex turned to a little bit at times, reverse sweeps and all these sort of shots. You're looking at Ingram and Cook, they were just looking straight down the ground, trusting themselves, like Higgins there, getting a good clean strike on the ball.
I was going to say that, the 146 without loss after 11.5, Middlesex were in the game, but you knew a couple of wickets. Should just be a single more for it. A couple of wickets for a side who are obviously going to be short on confidence early in the group stage, isn't it? But 3 defeats. There's obviously going to be batters who aren't exactly walking on air stepping out there at that point.
Well, and you've got to go from ball one. But that's the game.
Final ball, single down to long off. In fact, what is he? Not even a deep mid off. Davis moves to 4, Higgins has 19. Glamorgan have a fantastic win by 29 runs here at Merchant Taylors School. An outstanding display of hitting from Cook and Ingram. Put together an extraordinary partnership from 51 for 3s, 238 for 3. Cook's first T20 century. Tough night for Middlesex. Which one's the more difficult ending for them, because by this point the game had been up for a few overs, whereas 12 from 12 against Gloucestershire. They had that game won on Monday. Higgins was there at the end on Monday when there was a big chance to win it. No chance by the time really he arrived in the middle tonight. The game was pretty much gone. 19 from 10 for him, usually a strike rate that's pretty useful, but 29 run victory for Glamorgan, their second win. For Middlesex, well, it's a tough one really, isn't it? Because as you say, they've hit 209 for 5, which is hardly a bad score. And those final 3 overs have cost them dearly, but by that point it was 2 very well set batters.
Well, Middlesex have put parts of games together very well, but they've just not put a whole game together, and when they've not been good, they've been bloody awful, to be honest. And that's been the problem. So poor second half of this innings, allowing Glamorgan to get that, although admittedly against 2 players who struck the ball beautifully, get themselves into a winning position against Gloucestershire here, messed that up in the last couple of overs. Good teams, good players, consistently do things well, and Middlesex have not been able to do that, and that's why they're sitting here at the bottom of the league now with 4 defeats in a row, and with a bit of soul searching to do, but it's not going to get any easier. As you said, they're off down to Taunton, which is going to be a tough challenge, and then to Bristol. But Merchant Taylors has done the club proud over these last 2 days. I say almost 450 runs scored here this evening. If it's runs you're looking for at T20s, which is pretty much what people are, then the people that have turned up tonight have had a wonderful watch of an unbelievable display of hitting by the Glamorgan batters, and equally on Monday during the Gloucestershire match, a fantastic game of cricket that Middlesex just came out on the wrong side of. So Merchant Taylors School, a place where Middlesex have and will continue to look to play a lot of cricket, has shown that you can host very, very memorable 2020 afternoons and evenings. But Middlesex will be wanting to walk off these field, having played in a ordinary game and won it.
Angus Fraser, thanks very much for your company tonight and on Monday as well in that Gloucestershire match. So Middlesex heads to Taunton on Friday night, then to Bristol on Sunday before the stream. We'll be back here, not here indeed, at Radlett next Tuesday against Hampshire Hawks. Glamorgan, they entertain Kent on Friday evening at Cardiff. Good luck to Glamorgan for that one. From myself, Kevin Hand, and the stream team here at Merchant Taylors School, very good evening to you all, as this one's won by Glamorgan by 29 runs.